What's going on, everybody? I made another video tonight. I didn't expect to, but I started thinking, turn my music down, I started thinking about Q4. The reason why Hycroft hasn't really been hyping Q4 up, and it's because the data is already kind of out there. You have Q1 through 3 with production and sales estimate, or production and sales numbers, final numbers for amount of gold and amount of silver sold, but we also have the 2021 preliminary results already posted on the Hycroft website. So we'll go to that. So they did gold production for the year ended with 55,668 ounces, which exceeded the high-end guidance range, and 355,967 ounces of silver, which was 20% below guidance due to slower than planned leach kinetics from the heap leaching process. So the production data is out there. So I took those total production numbers and I went back through to the past 3 quarters, subtracted what they had sold from that, and now we can go and have a prediction on what's left to sell in Q4. So I'll just read my tweet from the top down. HYMC Q4 prediction, 12,424 ounces AU, that's gold, at $1,850 average, which was $23 million. 3,487 ounces AG at $23.50 average, 81.9K. So in Q1, only 7, that's Q4 prediction, but that is the Q1. So, oh no, I'm sorry, that is Q4. That is Q4. Sorry, I got my tweets all mixed up. So this is my predictions for Q4. These sales numbers here: 12,424 ounces of gold and 3,487 ounces of silver, assuming, because in Q1 only 70% of the gold and 60% of the silver, compared to production, which I believe were sold later in Q3 at higher prices, because Q3 had a significant spike in gold and silver sales at 16.3K ounces of gold and 105.4 thousand ounces of silver. So if this extra gold and silver that was produced in Q1 wasn't sold in Q3, then we can actually bump our Q4 numbers up from 12,424 to 16,452 ounces of gold and 3,487 ounces of silver to 41,056 ounces of silver, which would bring a Q4 total of $30.5 million. Need to go back and fix my tweet a little bit. I was typing like a madman. So to refresh, my Q4 conservative estimates for sales is 12,424 ounces of gold and 3,487 ounces of silver at the average prices I posted, totaling 24 million bucks. Even with fewer sales in Q4, the run-of-mill mining operations were ceased in November and 109 employees were laid off, drastically reducing overhead costs for quarter end December 31st. Numbers were based on historical quarters in 2021 and the 2021 year-end filing on the Hycroft site. Man, I got typos like crazy. Hycroft during full operation was showing a net loss estimated at $9 million a quarter. That's about $9 million for each quarter of a net loss during their full operations, run-of-mill operations. Due to layoffs and raw mining cost reductions due to the shutdown, Q4 should be a little better. So, since quarter end December 2021, Hycroft has raised $56 million in equity from investments by AMC Theaters and Eric Sprott. Hycroft also announced in its 2021 year-end preliminary an encounter with a near-surface high-grade gold deposit of 9.3 grams per ton at 3 to 9 meters, and also a 32.5 gram per ton silver deposit in the Porter region of the Vortex Zone. Consensus EPS from tip ranks for HYMC is negative 6 cents a share for Q4, which would be an 85% increase from Q3's EPS of negative 40 cents a share, which was a surprise miss in Q3. Assuming increased cost of mining due to inflation during Q3 from hazmat and other consumables such as fuel and the acids needed for the heap leaching process. Man, I really need to go back and fix some of this. But, so, again, in a nutshell, very conservatively, Q4 prediction, 12.4K ounces of gold sold at an average of $1,850, bringing it to 23 million, and 3,487 ounces of silver at 2350, bringing it to 81.9K for a grand total of about 24 million, right? So if that's very conservative, which I hope it is, and they come out and announce the more higher end prediction where they didn't sell all the extra produced gold and silver in Q3, because Q3 during that time prices were extremely high for gold and silver. They were at almost near the highest. So unloading at that time was extremely beneficial to offset the cost of mining. Now, if they produced more at the end of the year after prior to the shutdown, they produced more as much as they could as fast as possible, and the reporting numbers are a little off, this could be much higher. But in a nutshell, if they reduced the quarter-to-quarter $9 million cash burn due to operating costs after the shutdown in November, say they cut that in half, and there's only $4.5 million cash burn due to operating costs, then Q4 could come in with a positive EPS, especially if on the bottom here in Q1, the 70% announcement that I made right here, if they actually did sell off more of the produced gold from Q1 than they did in Q3. So on that, I know it's all over the place. It's really confusing, but in the end, my conservative prediction is about $24 million for the quarter after they shut down, reducing their operational costs, unloading this very conservative amount of gold. If they unloaded the less conservative amount, which means more, then they could probably come in around $30.5 million for the quarter, which would generate a positive EPS. So on that, that's all I had. That's my predictions for earnings, which will be on March 31st. We will be doing a Twitter stream. We will be doing a YouTube stream. Also, nothing I say is financial advice. It's in the title. This is entertainment purposes only. If you could, please like and subscribe while we go on this Hycroft ride together. I'm very bullish on it. I am not giving a price target, but I do have confidence in the $5 price target that has been given by other people on Twitter and YouTube. I think it's a very, very good level-headed estimate for this stock, considering you got big-time investors like AMC and Eric Sprott, who is a well-known short hunter, doesn't like the predatory shorts, has an entire website company called Save Canadian Mining, and he talked about fighting predatory short selling 2 years ago prior to even the ape movement. So we will see what goes on. Hopefully they make some good announcements, and hopefully they make a really good announcement on this near surface high grade gold mine to restart operations with some of the capital raised from the AMC and Eric Sprott investment to mine this higher grade gold, which could produce 5 times more revenue than the lower grade golds that sit below 4.5 grams per ton. So anyways, that's my breakdown. You guys have a good night. I will see you in pre-market. Froggy Stonks out.